students, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about NCERT 9th Standard Science Chapter 5, the Fundamental Unit of Life, Part 2. In the Part 1, we have learned what is a cell, discovery of cells and its components, cell theory, classification of cell based on size, shape and number, structural organization of a cell, cell membrane. Today we are going to discuss about what are the other important parts of a cell. I like to introduce an important part of a cell as cell wall. It is the outermost covering of plant cells. It is also present in fungi, protists, and some eukaryotes. It is absent in animal cell. Cell wall is rigid, strong, porous, and a non-living structure. It is made up of a hard substance called cellulose. Cell wall of two cells are joined by a cementing layer called lamellae. What are the functions of cell wall? It provides definite shape to the cell. It provides strength and turgidity to the cell. Cell wall is permeable and allow all substances of different sizes to get inside the cell. It protects from pathogen and mechanical injury. Cell wall gives strength and turgidity to the cells. How? We are going to discuss about that. Cell wall prevents bursting of cell on endoosmosis, especially in plant cells. How it is? As water enters into the plant cells, their protoplasm swells up and builds pressure against the cell wall. The cell wall exerts an equal and opposite pressure against the swelling protoplasm. As a result, after some endoosmosis, further entry of water into the cell is stopped. Is because of the presence of cell wall, it prevents the bursting of a cell. But at the same time, if you put an animal cell in a dilute solution, the endoosmosis will happen. The animal cell will swell up. After some time, it will burst up because absence of cell wall. And also there is another process. Plant cell lose water through osmosis or some other processes. The contraction of the shrinkage of the contents of the cell will happen, but the cell wall remains the same. The shrinkage of the contents of the plant cell is only away from the cell wall. That process is called plasmolysis. This is how cell walls gives turgidity and strength to the plant cells. Because of the cell wall, plant cells can withstand a lot of variations in the surrounding medium as compared to the animal cells. But at the same time, if you put an animal cell in a hypertonic solution, due to exosmosis, it will shrink. Let's take a look at the very important part of the cell. What it is? Yes, it is nucleus. Nucleus is the headquarters of the cell or the control center or the brain of the cell. Why it is the brain of the cell? Because it controls and regulates all the activities of the cell. The growth, metabolism, division, hereditary information, variations, etc. What a nucleus looks like? It's spherical or oval in shape, which is the largest cell structure in the cell, which is covered by a double membrane, one outer membrane and one inner membrane. It is porous. That means it allows the entry and exit of materials between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. Inside the nuclear membrane, inside the nucleus, there is a colorless liquid-like substance like cytoplasm in the cell, which is known as nucleoplasm, which consists of chromatin materials and nucleolus. What is nucleolus? It is a round structure, a membraneless structure inside the nucleus, which is made up of RNA and protein. Nucleolus is responsible for the ribosome formation. Chromatin material, which is a network of thread-like structures which is made up of deoxyribonucleic acid, the DNA, and also the proteins. DNA is responsible for storing transmission of the hereditary material from one generation to another. At the time of cell division, this chromatin material contends to form a rod-like structures called chromosomes. Chromosomes is the important part because it's only seen in the time of cell division. Chromosome is made up of DNA and protein. In the DNA, the functional unit of the DNA is known as genes. Genes are the functional unit of DNA, which carry the hereditary information of a cell. Not only the cell, the whole organisms, all activities, everything is determined by the DNA, the genes, and the chromosomes. What are the functions of nucleus? First one, genetic information. Nucleus contains all the genetic information, not only for the cell, but also for the whole organism. Control center. Nucleus functions as a control center of the cell, as it controls cell metabolism and cell activities. Ribosomes. They are formed by nucleolus, a part of nucleus. Division. Division of nucleus is essential for cell division. Variations. Reshuffling of chromosomes and changes in genes produce variations in generations. Basis of cellular structure. There are two types of cells, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Otherwise, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. What is prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell? Pro means primitive. Karyotes means nucleus. Prokaryotes, primitive nucleus. Eukaryotes. Eu means true. Karyotes means nucleus. Eukaryotes have true nucleus. There is a major difference between the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotes consist of a primitive nucleus, a poorly defined genetic material scattered in the cytoplasm and not covered by a nuclear membrane. That part is known as nucleoid. Nuclear membrane is absent and membrane-bound organelles is absent. Also, the chromatic material present in the cytoplasm is considered as a single chromosome. There is only one single chromosome is present in prokaryotes. Most of the bacteria are prokaryotes. At the same time, eukaryotes consist of, as I mentioned earlier, a true nucleus, a well-defined nucleus which is covered by nuclear membrane. Inside the nucleus, the chromatic material and which contains to form chromosomes and genes. More than one chromosome is present inside the nucleus. That means a well-defined hereditary material or nuclear region is present inside the eukaryotes. Nuclear membrane is present. Membrane-bound organelles are present in the cytoplasm. More than one chromosome is present. All plants, animals, and fungi are examples for eukaryotes. Next, we are going to discuss about the fluid content of the cell. What it is? The cytoplasm. The inner mass inside the plasma membrane, excluding the nucleus, is called cytoplasm. When the cell is young, the cytoplasm completely fills the space between the nucleus and the plasma membrane. Cytoplasm has two parts, cytosol and cell organelles. Cytosol is the fluid part of the cytoplasm. It consists of a number of substances such as water, ions, enzymes, vitamins, amino acids, carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, etc. It carries a number of metabolic reactions. Next part is cell organelles. All membrane-bound cell organelles which is scattered in the cytoplasm. Cell organelles are the submicroscopic structures which are specialized to perform the specific cellular functions. What are the functions of cytoplasm? Cytoplasm helps in intracellular distribution of enzymes, nutrients, and other biomolecules within the cell. The synthesis of different types of biomolecules such as proteins, nucleotides, fatty acids, etc. take place in the cytoplasm. Also, the first part of respiration is also take part in the cytoplasm. In this part, we have discussed about the most important features of a cell, mainly cell wall, nucleus, and the cytoplasm. We also discussed about the two types of cells, prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. Hope all of you get a clear understanding about each concept in this part. This is the end of part 2, NCERT, class 9, chapter 5, the fundamental units of life. Thank you. Bye.